$144.53. Thank you for buying the tickets. Run for tickets is always helping us to pay the rent. Please do it today also. We have a lot of books on the table, so somebody can win. And please bring the friends, family for the meeting. It's always helpful to have a lot of people in. Thank you.
Okay, next is basically some old business. Let's see, as you all know, we have 6 ballot proposals on the ballot this November. All of us, conservatives, Republicans, would all know we need to vote against proposal 1. Please get the word out, because if you look at the text of the Constitution, they're going to change. It is just horrendous. Okay, instead of just 4 simple words, which is currently there, it's going to add 14. And it's beyond. You're going to expect a lot of lawsuits if that does go through. Okay. As for the other 5 proposals, generally, I'll recommend you vote for number 2, yes, and then no, yes, yes, no. Well, anyways, on our website. But for DEI, obviously, you got to vote no. Anything that makes the city government better, like they put out the budget proposal, they need to put out some, give them more time. You sort of want to vote yes on that. Anyone want to talk about your position on the propositions before we move on? Taisha, you want to keep the microphone?
I went to community board 12
Go ahead.
last night.
Taisha, talk to the microphone so you can record.
Can anybody hear me?
Well, it's
Really?
live stream. It's a live stream.
Well, it's speaking louder now. Okay, so I went to my community board last night, and they talked about the proposals, announced that there were 4-1. But what was interesting was the 2 through 6. And so our Representative Natasha Williams handed this out, please out for anybody to see. And she said she recommended voting no, which I found interesting, because we also recommend voting no, because anything the Democrats put out, might as well say no to. But they said no, they want people to vote no because it would limit the city council's power. And they didn't want any limitations on their power. I thought that was interesting, so I wanted to make note of that. I was also at a presser this morning about Prop 1 with Lee Zeldin out there in Long Island. And one of the things that was mentioned, and Bobby Ann Cox was there, several other people as well. One of the things that was said that I found the connection really interesting, something I didn't think about before. So many points that we had to talk about with Proposition 1. But this one was because the language is so vague, and most likely it would be decided in the courts, many things that will have to go to court and litigate it. It underscores the importance of the judges that we have on the ballot this year and making sure that they get in. Because if these things go to courts, it'll be up to interpretation. And I mean, if this godforsaken thing passes, and if any of are left in this state have to contend with what's left over, the judges will be a part of this process. And we see how they go about things, and I don't think any of us want that. So, but I thought that was one more arrow in the quiver to use to let people know how important the judgeship races are.
Okay, so anyone else want to say something? Jonathan Rinaldi?
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, Proposition 1 didn't come from nothing. This came from State Senate Bill 108. This came from State Assembly Bill 1283. I mean, this thing just didn't come out of thin air. So, the local races are what's so important. Like I read the bill to Community Board 5 the other day. And in the bill, in the text, it says that we can't discriminate based on a number of things, but it says national origin on there. And with the city of Yes, and we all know that they're going to put all these illegals on Section 8 because they got to get them off of the ridiculous contracts from the hotels. All they're really going to do is Proposition 1, aside from trying to castrate sterilize our kids, they want to put all the illegals on Section 8, put them in all of our basements. And this is our local elected officials that are doing it. So just know that this doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from the state senate. It comes from state assembly. So make sure you get behind your state assembly candidates and help them so that we can actually fight back against this. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else want to make a comment on the proposals?
All right, for those of you,
William Horowitz.
my name is William. I've been active since 2001, ran for city council 2003, been on county committee since 2005. But as far as Proposition 1 is concerned, they call it an equal rights amendment. All it really is trying to legalize evil, is what it basically is. If you believe that men and women should be sharing the same bathroom and the same locker room, then by all means vote for this. If you believe that women should be able to kill babies from the minute you're pregnant until just before you're about to give birth, by all means vote for that. If you think that it's perfectly fine for a man to say, you know what, I feel like a woman, let me change over to a woman, by all means vote for that. But I think most of us in this room think all of that is pure evil, and which is why I'm sorry, I cannot support the Democrat Party, because the Democrat Party has proven over and over again that they're the party of evil. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to say it. That's my strongest reason why you should not be voting for Prop 1.
Okay, I guess Isaiah Vega, you want to say something as well? Isaiah, then we're going to move on.
All right, we've all heard the talk about Prop 1, and yes, we do have to vote against Prop 1. But I'm going to talk about the other 5 props. I'm personally voting no against all of them because I hate the government, and everything about this is expanding government powers and overreach. But if you do have to vote, for some of the props, club website does have props 3 through 5. It recommends voting yes, I believe, and props 2 and 6 are the ones to vote no against. So, I do highly recommend reading into it. Please do your own research. We all know why we should be voting against Prop 1. But props 2 and 6 especially, we should vote against that. But again, do your own research.
Okay, 2 other quick announcements on some of the old proposals we're following. 1, congestion pricing. We know they're going to come back up, okay? If not, HOCO's not gonna do it, the court's gonna do it. Right now, they purposely push congestion pricings legislate, there are several suits trying to get HOCO to start congestion pricing. And that suit, HOCO told them to please give me time until after the election. So HOCO will be following their basically the brief on November 15th, after the election. But we know it's gonna come and happen. If HOCO is probably gonna look at the judge says, hey, we're gonna restart congestion pricing, so it looks like she's not the boogie woman, okay? So she gets some, but anyway, so either way, she's gonna restart it, or the court's gonna restart it. Next issue we've been following, non-citizen voting. It's not dead, okay? Okay, it is not dead. Certainly the judge has made it dead, but it's before the Court of Appeals, and they just filed, the City of New York just filed their reply brief yesterday, okay? So the Court of Appeals should be making a decision on it, if not end of this year, next year. Just want to keep you updated on that. One quick club business. October is the month to which we had established the nominating committee, to which there'll be 5 members. The chairman is on the committee. The first vice president is on it. I get to select someone. I am not as a president on it, and 2 people will be elected tonight from the floor. So, do I have 2 people who would like to be on the committee? Okay, Phil Grillo, Isaiah Vega. Anybody else? Okay. Ruben, you want to?
I can be.
Okay, so, okay, so Ruben Cruz, we only need two, since we have three, would three of you like to say a quick reason of why you'd like to be on the committee, and we'll just do a quick vote?
I love this club and.
Oh, wait, Phil Grillo has a mic.
Well, you know, on Christmas Eve, Danny Mayo took a bus to my house and dropped off the donations that were collected from this club. So I arrived early today. Danny had reached out on social media, on the chat room, that he needed some help setting up reading the mission statement. So I volunteered for it, absolutely. Danny Mayo asked, I'm gonna go ahead and raise my hand. So I just raised my hand because he was asking. I don't forget things like that. The man took a bus on Christmas Eve to my house to drop off the donations that he collected here. And I see some of the board members that were on the Zoom call. They were gonna do a give, send, go, and a GoFundMe for me because I was, convicted for January 6th at the protest. I lost everything, guys like Danny and guys like Joseph Chu right here is running for Congress. He helped me out like you would never believe in your life. This guy right here, Danny Mayo, when I didn't even ask him. I mean, I did a little bit, I asked, but these people are volunteering to help me. So I want to give back to the Queens Central Republican Club. And, so I raised my hand, and for any position, board member, whatever it is, I'll show up, and thank you for listening. That's my spiel.
Thanks, Phil. Ruben? Oh, Isaiah?
Hey everyone, I'm Ruben Cruz. I've been around for a little while, and I know about how boards are supposed to be run. I'm MOC certified, which means that I understand about the rules of order, and I'm here to help. Thank you.
Isaiah Vega?
Well, I don't know how to top these two. I mean, they're both wonderful men, so if you choose them over me, that's perfectly fine, I won't be mad at it. But I do love this club. I've been a member for almost 2 years now. It's always been a nice place, always been a welcoming place, an open forum, and if we can make it better in any way, then I'd be glad to help in that process. So whoever you choose tonight, you'll be choosing from among the best.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. Since we have three people, and I have the authority to select one, so there'll be three people there. So dispense with the election. All three of you are automatically on, okay? So I guess, but then we still need to go through the election. Will you accept that decision there? So we're gonna have basically Phil Grillo, Isaiah Vega, and Ruben Cruz. It doesn't matter who you pick, okay, the loser of that one, well, yeah, you don't need to worry about the loser, I will appoint that third person. So it's almost like a unanimous there. Do I have basically a vote from the floor to accept that decision?
I think we should make it unanimous, all three. Two, and Danny announce the third one, and let's dispense with the voting.
So the motion from Anton, do I have a second for Anton's motion to accept that proposal? Okay, Bill Grillo, so congratulations, we dispense with elections, all three of you on the nominating committee. So the nominating committee, basically, we have 4 board of directors positionings opening up, and they'll basically be meeting and talk about the officers, who they want for next year's, and all of the officers up for the election. They'll be picking the board members. The board members are basically elected for a 3-year term. If any of you interested in being a board member, you're welcome to pay your dues. Assuming you're paying due members as of tonight or forward, just let them know and talk to our nominating committee. Okay, let me get to announcements before we get to the round table. One of the guests here tonight is Mr. Fred Kress. He has something he'd like to offer that would be as money saver for anyone here this evening if you buy stamps. Fred, you want to make your offer?
I'm a lifelong resident of Queens. When I turned 18, my father said to me, Fred, get your behind up to the post office, register to vote, sign up for selective service, but don't come home. I said, Dad, you didn't have to tell me twice.
And where I grew up with, that other party had a very big stronghold. Like 90% of the residents of Rosedale were from that other party. And I've seen some, I've seen some shenanigans go on because I'm also a poll worker. And our system works when people play by the rules. But enough of that. What I'm here tonight is to check out the club. And my other friends are supposed to be here, but they might have got lost. We'd like to join the club, and most of us are from that other party, and we've seen the light. So anyway, my offer to you, my offer to everyone here. Well, you know, I'm so tired of hearing that other name, I'm getting sick. So tonight, I'm just going to tell you quick, I'm offering this to select clubs, organizations, groups, and churches. I belong to a collective, not a communist collective, but a collective of business people that get deals on things and offer them to clubs to do fundraising. Our latest thing is we're selling genuine United States postal stamps, 100-roll stamps for $50, where the post office is offering them for $73. The good thing about that is, I mean, you're gonna save $23 off the get-go, but $5 of every roll will be donated back to the Republican Club. However, you have to come to the meeting to get them. This is a way to build up groups. I'm president of a group that had 400 member groups. And COVID kind of stabbed us in the back a few times, but we're down to about 80 groups. And we're trying to build up all the groups, and they're mostly park groups, the civic groups. We're trying to build up what we once had in Queens, because we had a population of volunteers that were doing great things. When you see the daffodil bulbs, they were probably planted by one of our groups. Where if you had graffiti and it was removed, maybe by the sanitation, but we're a hell of a lot quicker and better painters, I would say. So tonight, I'm here to offer it, introduce to you. If you want it, great. If you don't, no harm done.
I have a quick question.
Sure, shoot.
So, a political candidate, right, are they able to buy stamps from you in bulk?
Yes, but it depends
Like, I
what,
mean,
oh,
they're cheaper than 50 cents?
no,
All right, so 50 cents is a
That's
pretty
it.
good deal as it is. On,
Yeah.
so you do sell them for 50 cents. in bulk.
yeah, yes, I do.
And it must be 10,000.
I don't know if we can do 10,000, but you know,
Like, you know what I'm saying, the campaign can pay for them? Is that right?
we do take business checks and cash. We don't take credit cards. We're trying to keep the expenses down, which is part of our thing, to give small businesses and groups a chance. Everybody else, these big guys, you always hear, oh, they're getting this for like next to nothing. But we wanted to offer that to the small groups and small businesses. Most of the people in the group are small business owners, and we're getting choked to death. They're forcing a lot of the companies to either scale back, move out, or shut down. And I know it's only a small expense, but I'm an insurance broker. My business, stamps are like our enemy. They're so damn expensive. You know, every time you send out a mailing, like I heard, one mailing was $80,000.
Right.
I mean, I know that's printing and all that, but if you can cut your costs down on little things, it does add up after a while. Like tomorrow I have breakfast, one business owner, he wants 10 rolls, the other friend of his wants another 10 rolls. So that'll last them like a month or two. But if you want to do it on a bigger scale, let me know, and I will place an order with our collective,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll get them in.
Or, you know.
I will.
Thank you very much,
I
Fred.
don't have a
Okay.
lot of cards with me, because it's, trying to cut costs, right?
That's part of what being Republican is about as well, to save people money. Ruben Cruz, you want to say something about the pen that you just passed out again?
I'm gonna share his card on the WhatsApp group group chat for Central Queens Republican Club, so everyone has it.
And the beautiful
Okay.
thing is, I have to come to every meeting to someone, we don't put the burden on you. The club just gets the $5, I do all the work.
I'm gonna put it online and share it with everyone.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's Ruben Cruz again. I already met a number of you personally and gave you a pin. I still have some more pins here if you have a need for more. Otherwise, I'm giving them out while I'm on the campaign trail for State Assembly in District 24. I'd like to just share a quick news flash that I got this morning. And the title says, Hochul says Adams has cleaned house. I'm quoting here. I feel he has done what I asked him to do, which is to clean house. This is our governor on her request to Mayor Eric Adams that he cut ties with scandal-ridden aides. So my request to our governor is that you clean house and get rid of our mayor. I mean, I can't understand how someone would say something like that, but it's obvious political maneuvering. It's obvious that she's holding back the MTA congestion pricing until after the election so that she can get all her friends in. And this is a point for us to move from. Now, running for office myself, I'm expecting all of my fellow Republicans to vote for me. But how are we going to get our friends? I mean, I've got 10% in my district that I can rely on. I need about 15,000 votes, and I can rely right now on about 2,000. The good news is that with everything going on with our mayor, it only makes us look better. So how do we engage our neighbors, our co-workers in changing their minds on how they're going to vote? And this is an example of it. Here's a governor saying that, oh no, she's the one who told our mayor to get rid of these people who are under investigation. But including the mayor, how come he's still in? It just doesn't make sense, but it only makes us look better, in my opinion. Yes.
I heard Ms. Hochul explanation. She's saying all his staff are appointed by him. He was elected. That's her story. I heard her on the radio say that.
Yeah. So, point taken, sir.
I would have to point out that at the moment, the one good thing you can say about Eric Adams is his possible replacements are worse.
Well, it's only for 3 months.
Yeah. Well, that's the point that I want to bring up to everyone. The more informed you are, the better chance we have of moving forward. So that's it. I got some extra pins if you'd like, and thank you very much.
Okay, and our next speaker, Steve Gillen. And anyone else like to make some announcement, let me know, then we're gonna go to our roundtable right after this.
That's good. Hi, everybody. So I'm Steve Gillen, Director of Political Affairs for Project Civica. I'm here for one main reason tonight is to thank everybody. I was here back in May, and you guys helped me out with a focus group to determine what were going to be the 7 pledges in the common sense contract with New York. All right. We ended up doing 292 people that did the focus group, and the lowest score we got was 97.6% of people that agreed with the issues on hand. We were like 95% on the verbiage. So based on people's suggestions to us, we made a few little changes in the verbiage. But the common sense contract with New York's up. We have candidates on it, are running on it. Project Civica is running ads. I've had ads in Queens. I've had them in the Spanish paper. I've had them upstate. We got candidates running in Syracuse and Rochester and Buffalo. So we're all over the state. We're running ads. The people that are running under the common sense contract with New York. But what I'm really here for tonight is I just wanted to talk to you about getting out the vote. All right. And this is what Project Civica is doing to get out the vote. The first thing was the common sense contract. It's giving people something to vote for, getting the low propensity voters So come out and vote, all right? Now they see that the Republican Party has a plan in place and what they'll do if you elect a Senate or an assembly person and put them up in Albany. They're putting it down in writing what they'll do for you. But what we're also doing is we're doing a postcard drive, okay? So any candidate that ran under the common sense contract with New York, we're sending out postcards in those specific districts to get out the vote. And the reason for this is that if everybody may not be sure, but in 2020, we had 8.1 million people come out and vote. In 2022, we had 5.5 million people come out and vote. That's 2.5 million people that made a conscious decision from 2020 to 2022 not to vote. Those people are out there to get. So how do we get them? All right, how do we go after them? So we're doing what we're doing with Project Civic with those items, but we're also associated now with Turning Point. Everybody familiar with Turning Point USA, I imagine. All right, so Turning Point has Turning Point Action. And what they do is they have an app. I'm sure everybody has a phone, right? Everybody has a phone. You could download this app. And as you're sitting there watching the Yankees or the Mets, you could pull up, just turn the app on. It will geolocate you, and it will give you 18 to 20 people in your neighborhood that haven't voted since 2020. Okay? It'll give you immediately. You could then just take the app and you go and you could send them a text. So in 15 minutes, you could contact 10 to 20 people and send them a text, and they give you actual examples of what you could use, the actual verbiage that you could use. Then you could also know how to follow up on them because it'll give you the progress that you did, that you contacted this guy a week ago, and did he get in his absentee ballot? Has he registered? Whatever the case may be, you'll have track of it, and then you could just send them another text and say, hey, did you get your absentee ballot in? Or did you get out and vote? On voting day, you could sit there and you could see if you voted or not. You'd be able to send him a text or call him or go knock on his door. We got our people in Project Civic are all using this right now. And it's amazing. You hear the stories, neighbor 2-3 doors down, good friend of yours. No, he's a political ally. Hasn't voted since 2018. You go knock on his door and say, get out and vote. So all these things, so everybody in this room can impact how we get out the vote. It's very simple. You could just go onto the App Store and you go to Turning Point Action, and then you could go on, if it's very self-explanatory, but you can go on to projectcivica.org, and we have a short video to turn around and teach you how to use the app. It's very useful. So we're doing this for Turning Point in New York. They hired 1,000 people that they're paying in the battleground states using the app and chasing the vote, knocking on doors. Project Civica took it on to do it in New York. So I'd ask everybody, you got a phone, very simple, takes you 5 minutes to learn it, and then you could do it from now until Election Day. So that's it. It's blue. It's a Turning Point app. Yep. And or you can go to Project Civic also. We can download the app from our site also. But otherwise, thank you for helping me with the focus groups, and I appreciate it. I love this club. You guys have always been great to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And of course, this website will be on Club's website as well, so you can also go to Club's website. Okay, all right. Any other announcements before we have? Okay, Zach McManus, who is going to be one of our roundtable speakers.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just want to announce that the Bronx County Conservative Party will be having a Trump rally in the Bronx on November 2nd from noon till 4 p.m. We're looking to make it the biggest rally in the Bronx. We'll be serving complimentary. We're going to have a hot dog push cart, pretzels, so get there early before they run out. And I just want to ask everybody, please come out, make this event very successful. It's November 2nd at 943 Morris Park Avenue in the Bronx. Thank you.
Thank you for leaving your time on stage. And okay. Go ahead, Bob. No problem. Come on up.
I have a very, very special announcement. You might not like this, Danny, one bit. But listen, I'm at war with the Queens GOP. Tony Nunziato himself called the police to make sure I could not attend the civic meeting today. So the announcement that I'm gonna make is that the county committee is the most important thing that we have to do and achieve. And I nominate, as of this day, in front of the Queens Conservative Party, in front of Project Civica, that Danny Mayo be the next chair of the Queens GOP, and we have to do everything that we need to do to get him where we need to get him. Because for the party, for our future, for our families, we must make Danny Mayo the chair of the Queens GOP. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, now we have our entertainment. Can we have our speakers come up there? The Theo Gino, please, Bob Joe, Dr. Manis, okay? The format is pretty informal. They're gonna talk among themselves and also answer whatever questions you have, talking about the national issues, what they think about what's happening in the country, in the city, in the state. This is to be as casual as possible, try to answer your questions. Now, Theo Gino is from the Social Democrats of America. So we have to consider it, so at least you have different views here, and that's the way in which I like it. I have also extended invitation to the working families, Democrats, they did not even respond. In the case of working families, I even went to the headquarters, they would not even send anyone down to talk to me, okay? So, without further ado, let me pass the mic over to our three roundtable speakers.
Should I start? Just say a quick hello. Well, I want to thank everybody and thanks Daniel for inviting me. My name is Theo Gino. I'm the first national secretary of the Social Democrats of America. So what is that? That's the socialist faction inside the Democratic Party. And it might sound strange, but the Democratic Party is a bunch of liberals, 90%, and basically they run the Democratic Party the way they want. And the Democratic Party, or the Republican Party, I believe, they are machine to win elections. So we need to organize. The party needs values. And so basically, the Democratic Party in New York is run by liberal values. Values that are saying, we want something and they will do something else once they're elected. So I call that corruption. And anywhere around the world, liberals tend to be corrupt when they have no check and balance. So that's why we need different value systems, such as the conservative, such as the socialist, such as all the other value systems that 6 billion people can recognize themselves in. That's basically the way I'm going to start. Okay. And I'm in the Democratic Party. And today, I will vote for Kamala. I will say that straight out because say it, but she's a liberal. So the thing is, for me, what? I should be ashamed, but because I'm a socialist. Hold on. I'm a socialist. I am at the far left. To my right is Kamala. Hold on. To my right is Kamala, which I don't agree with. But to her right is Donald Trump. I don't agree with him. Come on, man. What are you doing up there? I'm just explaining where I'm coming from. My value system is represented by Bernie Sanders. I am a Bernie Sanders person. So for me, Kamala is a liberal, such as Obama, such as everybody. Basically, they lie. They tell you one thing and they do something else. And what I will say about Donald Trump is he's true to his word. He has laid down, when he came down that escalator, certain thing, and he hasn't lied to the American people. He said it. I disagree with what he said, but one thing he said very straight is what he will do. And during his 4 years, he did what he said he would do. Now, I have a difference of opinion, but Kamala Harris and all the liberals say one thing and do something else. So that was the beginning to set the tone and the mood.
Well, let's let the other people talk.
Yes, I found it very interesting what Theo was saying. Hi. Again, I'm Patrick McManus. I am the chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party. I took over in 2020 when Bill Newmark, who some of you may know, passed away. The party at that point had really become very dormant. And with hard work, some of my members, we have been working on resurrecting the party. One thing I have to say that I met Theo for the first time tonight. We have a few things we agree on. But the one thing I totally disagree on is socialism, okay? This has been tried throughout history hundreds, if not thousands of times. And it has always, ultimately, led to failure. The society suffers, the people suffer. And this is why I firmly stand against socialism, and I do consider Kamala a socialist, a Marxist, and every other derogatory term you can think about, yes. Okay, I will agree with you. But on the foundation, socialism does not help the people, it helps those in power. Okay, just like the Democratic Party is doing today. The people are not represented, the party and the power structure is. That is socialism summed up in a few words.
And that's
Hi everybody, Bob Chow from the Queen's Church Conservative Party. Let me see one thing, I remember my family that escaped from communist country, China, to Taiwan 70 years ago. Because we're sick and tired with the socialism, we're sick and tired with the communists. Okay? Because we don't believe that if I give you everything and then you give up your right. We don't believe that. And then 35 years ago, my family, we moved to US, so I become citizen. We wait in the line. Okay? We do the right thing. I remember the first day I came to this country, my mother actually told me that you want something, you work for it. You want something, you wait in the line, and you work for it. And then now I feel confused. I feel confused because now it's totally different. Now we're facing a lot of people that they don't wait in the line, they jump into this country illegally, and then they wait in the line to get the free stuff. What is this? And in my community, we have, in Queens, we have a lot of Asian, we have a lot of Chinese people. That they, and then we talk to them, and then they're like, Bob, I feel so confused. Now New York is actually more socialism than China. The government in China over there, they don't give out free stuff. You have to work your ass off. I'm sorry about my language, but you have to work. But not here. So my question is, how can we still talking about we're gonna vote for somebody that who illegally open the border? They create a lot of crazy problem. And then now they say, oh no, we're gonna fix the problem. They're the one who created the problem. Now they say they're gonna fix the problem. So if we don't agree the way that they want to fix it, which is limited to certain numbers for them to illegal come in, and then they're playing on us. What is this? They're kind of stealing the idea. They switch the idea. They play mine. They try to play our mind. No, we're not gonna let this happen. Years ago, I have to admit, years ago I worked for a state assembly that, is Democrat. Because they told me that, oh, we help people, we help the new immigrant, blah, 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 right? So we checked that, oh, okay. Because back then we don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about this. But sooner or later we realize something's incorrect. Because all they do is they go to a larger, senior center, they go to a larger, like a community club and all that, to give out free stuff, to give them benefit. So by end of the day, a lot of the people that they receive all those, items, especially by the election time, they will ask, who should we vote? And then you will always hear those, voices like, oh yeah, of course you gotta vote for Democrat because they give you free stuff. If you vote Republican, if you vote some other, you're not gonna get the benefit. They're gonna cut your benefit. I'm not saying that Democrat people saying that, but what I'm saying is someone, somehow, somewhere is playing games. So when I realized this, I said, no, I gotta change. So by the time, when the assemblyman that, that I work for, when he retired, I switched party. And the conservative, our chairman, Jerry Lazar, we have a long talk, and then he asked me, Bob, why don't you come and take a look? First thing that I asked is the party that I'm gonna join right now, are we gonna train the people to be like, don't wanna go to work? Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that to see more and more people waiting in the line to get free stuff, instead of spend those time to work. I'm afraid that when those people that they don't want to improve themselves, they rather stay in the line to wait, to get the free stuff. And the whole society, the whole country will be ruined because nobody want to go to work. Everybody's waiting to get free stuff. And where do we get the money? Our tax money. We pay for it. For those people who don't want to go to work, for them to, for those people who open the doors and come. Illegal, come in. We have a lot of, dumbass people that they pay their tax. We have a lot of people like that to pay the tax for you to, just come, don't worry. I'm sorry, 2 minutes. Thank you, love you. We'll give you free stuff. All you have to do is stay illegal. You can claim that you don't have money. You can still get the free stuff. And we make sure that you can vote. Because we're about to pass a law for illegal to vote. So that we could get more illegal come in. To get more free stuff. By our money, by your money. By your kids' money, your grandkids' money. To feed those people. Whoever doesn't want to, this is like the dream of America, American dream. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go to work. Unbelievable.
Well, Pat and Bob, and the folks here, I just want to say two things. I'm going to go back a little bit in history, back to the American Revolution. Because we socialists, we believe in the American Revolution. We were formed by the American Revolution. Our thinking comes from the American Revolution. No, let me finish. But I will go, and I will go back to something that happened in Chicago. Somewhere, the worker in Chicago in 1870 decided that working 12-hour day was too much, no vacation, no day off, no anything. And they protested. They got together in Chicago at Haymarket, and they say, we want to work 8 hours a day. And they fought. And today, we can, if you don't agree with any of that, you can remove Labor Day. Because Labor Day is a recognition of what happened in Chicago in 1880. You can look it up, all that. The second thing about what happened with the socialists is the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can check it out as well. The Pledge of Allegiance was written by a socialist. A black pastor socialist wrote the Pledge of Allegiance because we love America. And socialism is not about free work. is not about getting free stuff. It is about sharing the wealth that is going around.
Why?
But let me finish. But that is in the American Constitution.
Let's let him talk.
How many signatures, Pat, there's a candidate running for state assembly in the 83rd Assembly District in the Bronx, right?
Right.
How many signatures does she need to get on the ballot?
I don't remember
The number
offhand,
is
Phil.
8. How many signatures for the Conservative Party for one icon? How many signatures do you need, Mr. Bob Chu?
40?
40 signatures to get on the ballot. And how about you, Mr. Diocino?
Several
So,
hundred.
You guys, you talk about the socialism and so on and so forth. The Republican Party is where it is. We need thousands of signatures to get onto the ballot. So you guys are up and coming in. It's great. I hope you stick with it.
No, the point is the system is broken because, like William said, nobody's running into it. We're just letting a minority of people keep us in the dark on how the Democratic or the Republican system work. And this is what William said earlier. The county committee is the most important thing. And that's where I want to get to. I've been a socialist for a long time, but I realized that something was broken. Every time you were running a candidate, 80%, 20%. You advertise it, you spend thousands of dollars, 80-20. You don't advertise, you don't spend a single dollar, 80-20. No matter what you were doing, you were always seeing that pattern of 80-20. So I realized maybe we need to look at something different. And what are we missing? Nobody wants to talk values anymore. The Democrat is like, oh, we need to beat the Republican, whatever they do. The Republican, we need to beat the Democrat. But where are our value system? And suddenly I realized that people vote for a value system. We need to engage every voter. And I'm saddened that I don't see the working family here. I don't see the Democratic Party, the chair of the Democratic. I don't see the chair of the Republican, because I would like to hear everybody's value system, to hear what they believe and what they don't. And obviously, I know you don't believe anything I say in my value system, but I'm here to also talk about how broken the system is. And that we need to work together to fix the system. Everybody needs to run, like Steve said from Project Civitas, that we need to engage our neighbor. I don't want you to engage on what I believe. I want you to engage your neighbor on what you believe and talk to them to figure out, to convince them. And we need to get people to vote. Doesn't matter where your belief system is, we need to wake people up to vote. And I'll stop there.
Okay, I'm going to ask you sort of wait for a brief moment, take a brief break. You can also prepare to ask each other questions. As you know, we still have a little bit over 2 weeks left before Election Day. We do have some candidates that's going to come in and out of the meeting. We had just one that came in recently, a judicial candidate going for Queens Civil Court, Mr. Peter Lane. Would you please come up and say a few words? Go ahead.
Thank you. The words of Monty Python, now for something completely different. Yes. I happen to, yeah. So, confession's sake, I happen to be on the Republican and the Democratic one. So, anyway. So, however, the judicial, so the talk is, we have a very consequential election going on politically. In my world, it's a judicial world. I'm also constrained by judicial ethics, not getting into the politics. So you'll have to turn the ballot over, go all the way to the bottom, and then you'll see me on those lines in the civil court. So a little bit about myself. I'm, other than being born in Manhattan, I'm raised in Flushing, lived there for a long, long time. So I don't know, let's go Mets tonight if they're doing any good. And presently live in the Belrose section of Queens. I was a parishioner at St. Andrew Avellino, and now at Our Lady of Snows. I went to school, grade school in Queens. High school, I took the bus up to the Bronx, over to New York University, and then back to Queens to St. John's Law School. So that's my education background. As
as far as working goes, maybe I can start from early and bring it up to the future. I was raised by parents who, my dad was in the, joined the Xavier Military Academy in 42 and got out of the Air Force in 72. And his family were laborers, my great aunts, uncles, and beyond them, going back before the turn of the century. So I was 11 years old, and of course, as soon as you could get a penny saver or a newspaper out, you worked. So I worked, and even at about 12, was doing political campaigns. Honestly, I don't know what I was campaigning for. My mother had 6 children, so they gave us free pizza. So that's, so that's how that started. I started working for the state in the assembly in 1985. My job then was essentially emptying the waste paper baskets for the legislatures, and then they trusted me with answering the phones and taking messages. So, my folks were involved in the local homeowners and civic association. So being involved was always very important. Coming up through time, while I was in law school, I worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District, then was Otto Obermeyer, and then for Federal District Judge Robert Patterson. And having a penchant for, I thought I'd be a musician. I was big band and jazz was my folks' household. I like the entertainment and the theater of the courtroom. I also like boxing, and I like a little bit of that. And got to work on some very consequential trials back. This is in the 1990s, things that were going down in the Southern District. So when I got out of law school, liking litigation, I immediately took a job on Queens Boulevard, where I could go. I worked for a firm, and I was just talking to some young lady here remembers me from landlord-tenant court, 91, 92, 93. So doing litigation. I love being in the courthouse. I like people. I like working. I did that for a while, then went out, started my own firm. And after that, I was asked by Judge Thomas V. Polizzi, who I think may have been one of the last Republican judges elected countywide, to be his principal law clerk. I've been working, I have well over 38 years in the court. I did 12 years in the Supreme Court, handling cases, torts, medical malpractice cases, real estate, your municipal liability, dealing with your Board of Education, your fire, your police department sort of cases, divorce, matrimonials, custodies, tough cases, very interesting work, lots of reading, lots of writing, research, and settling disputes. That's what I like. I know the political sort of the ballot, they look at, huge, big pictures going on. I, as a child of Queens, like being focused on I don't want to call them a little issue, but singular cases and issues between and amongst residents here in Queens. And what might seem as a little issue to you, even if it's not a lot of money, it's a big issue to them. And so 12 years in Supreme Court, and then the past 18 years I've been in surrogate's court as a principal law clerk to the surrogate, court attorney, referee, and finally the supervising attorney for the county of Queens. So we serve 2 million residents. I had a staff of 4 attorneys. It's kind of an understaffed court, but it's very important work when somebody passes away. This is your family. These are your loved ones, your parents, your grandmother. It might be, God forbid, a child. And the problems that you have while you're alive follow you in death, whatever they might be. Financial problems, you might have had a divorce. The separation agreement will follow you. You might have been injured in a hospital and have wrongful death. That's going to follow you there. Maybe there was something criminal happened. That's going to follow you. We have an epidemic of deed theft going around in Queens right now. Those things, these problems also. You need to have a broad array of knowledge of civil and criminal law to function in the surrogate's court. I really had a pleasure. My favorite time there is Thursdays.
We have our process calendar trying to settle people's disputes, sometimes in the hallway, I'm surrounded. But, 99 point something % of the matters get settled. And other things go to trial. I do accounting trials for the surrogate. I do kinship and heirship trials, determine next of kin. I've been doing that for all these years.
Excuse me, how much is a divorce?
I work for the New York State. Work for New York State. So I work for the judge. And then that's my legal experience. In terms of community involvement, I think that's also an important factor where you actually, it's not talking, but it's getting your hands into the work in the community. Some things I've done over the years, for instance, I was a member of Community Board 7 during the 90s, then appointed by the borough president. And for that period, 8-10 years or so, was on committees to keep the U.S. Tennis Association in Queens. We were going to go to Georgia. That was a big one. The skating rink and the pool that were in Queens, that was redone in anticipation of the Olympics, which never happened. And probably the thing as a guy from Flushing, was the new Flushing Library. It's a very multicultural library. It's got a performance center in the basement. Tried to rival the Jamaica Library. Another thing is through the Catholic Youth Organization from 2010 to 20 with my 2 kids, my wife, and I've got 2 kids. One's in college, one's a senior at Xavier High School in the city. My oldest son was a cadet colonel over at that school in the ROTC program. Was teaching swimming to CYO. So we took kids there from like 7 through 13 or 14, they would age out. It covered the area from Jamaica up through Laurelton, Rosedale, Queens Village, and up until Belrose. I'd have about 125 kids a year. And if you know anything about the waters over the Rockaways, they're treacherous. So I'm pretty proud of that. Probably have taught well over 1,000 kids to swim and stay safe in the water. And if I reach way back, back before I worked in the court system, there was something I did while I was in practice as an attorney that was kind of interesting. There was a graffiti epidemic, and there always seems to be a graffiti epidemic, which is, so, how do you deal with it? So we were running around. One guy had a machine. He was washing everything off. I had the paint, was painting the side of the laundromats and covering it up. And I formed a corporation called Graffiti Terminators with a fellow named Pat DeLillo of Woodside, who's passed away. And then that became Fun Factory, and then that eventually morphed into 5 Points. And what it was, you were trying to focus these kids. You can't take a 17-year-old and, make them responsible. But instead of just, giving them a record of some sort, you had them clean it up, and then you gave them a space to do their art. And, going to high school in the Bronx, I think, it's that the art, that style of artwork is maybe there's an industry, commercial industry in that for the future. But at least it kind of distracted the problem off the sides of your fences, the sides of the highways, and maybe that might have helped a little bit. I don't even know. But so always stayed involved in the local civics. And to the extent possible, although not recently, in the homeowners associations, and we're not political clubs anymore, but I did run in 2003 and 4 on then was the Republican and Conservative line. This year it's a Democrat Republican. I think the Democrat Republican that was founded by James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. So I think it's been a long time since you have that combination. I'm not sure of the logistics, but I was going to be leaving the court this year. And I think a lot of people got together and they said, Pete, don't go. We'd like you to stick around for a while. I was looking to go back into private practice and charge high prices for divorces and help my kids through college. But just as I wanted out, they pulled me back. So we'll see about that. But anyway, any questions? I'm just rambling on a little bit too much. Yes, ma'am. Peter F. Lane. Turn the ballot over all the way at the bottom. Yes, in the back, sir.
Can you answer your official capacity as a private citizen, whether or not you be voting for Donald J. Trump?
No, we can't, judicial candidates cannot, through the ethic rules, get involved in the political side of the ballot or those questions at all.
Not as a
So,
private citizen. Not as a private
I'm a private citizen too, but the judicial rules of ethics don't get us in, yeah.
Unfortunately,
So-
as a candidate, they can't.
Yeah, so there's some distinct rules with the judicial candidates about that. All I could say is, it seems it's a very consequential election this year. And particularly, there's only 3 people I care about in the ballot, me, myself, and I. On the other side of the ballot, all the way at the bottom. And what's going on in the court system. Oftentimes we don't know who the judicial candidates are, right? So I made a pledge. I said, if somebody calls me, wherever they call me from, Civic, wherever I'm coming, and I got a call, so I'm here. So that says a lot for your club, that they care enough to even know the down ballot, so to speak, and take it. So thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Peter Lane, so Queens Circuit Court. Now, okay. Let's see, there's gonna be 1 or 2 more candidates that will be coming in a little bit later. Any other candidates want to say something before we go back to the round table? Okay, Joseph Shode is running against Grace Meng in the 6th Congressional.
How you doing, everybody?
Anybody wanna get the smoke that they blow up your ass and they blow it out for you? Because that's what they did. Alright, seriously, honestly, think about this. I'm not telling you you have a right to believe, but honestly, this country was built on hard work. Not 8-hour weeks, 7-hour weeks. That's not what, if